Hawkins, why have you locked us in?
Professor Hawkins! Margaret!
Oh, what's the matter?
I can't get the hatch open.
Don't try to enter the control cabin, any of you. I have Margaret here as a hostage. If you try anything silly down there, I'll drain your cabin of oxygen.
What do you think you're doing in there? Hawkins!
I'm not Hawkins. My name is Harcourt Brown.
Harcourt Brown?
That's the man who wrote that book, People from Other Planets.
Come on, open up his hatch!
I'm giving the orders now, Henderson. I'm in control of this rocket, and I'm taking it to the planet Mars.
He must be out of his mind.
Well, how can we get through there?
I think you're wasting your time. You'll find that hatch is securely battened down.
This is quite right, Jeff. You can't open it from this side. All the same, we've got to get him out of there and quickly. The rocket's moving out of the moon's orbit.
Well, has he enough food to stay in there long?
Well, all the emergency supplies are stored in that compartment.
And what about water?
There's enough in the tank in there to last the two of them for about 3 weeks. Jeff, have we got an electric cutter in our equipment?
Yes, over here.
Right, rig it up.
What about when he hears you cutting through? He's got Margaret in there as a hostage.
If he does anything to her, I'll use the cutter on him. All right, switch on. Jeff, switch on.
It's no use, the power's gone.
He's got all the control switches in there.
Yes, Professor Meadows, I have. Now, there are several things I can do if you refuse to cooperate. I can cut off your heating and you'll freeze to death, or I can withdraw your oxygen and you'll suffocate. And let me remind you, I have Margaret in here as a hostage.
Don't worry about me. I'm not frightened of him.
Settle down, all of you. You have provisions in the supply canister and we're well provided for. Now, I warn you, Henderson, I'll allow nothing to interfere with my mission. Come away from that hatch. I'll cut off that oxygen. Now that's a sensible go.
Brown, you can't possibly take his rocket to Mars. It was never designed for such a journey. Do you realize the distance Mars is away from us?
Yes, Henderson, I know the distances. I also know that Mars is traveling towards us. And in December the 29th, it would be at its nearest point for some years. 56 million miles.
56 million miles? He's crazy.
Not so crazy, Professor Meadows. At our present speed, we will accomplish the journey in 6 weeks, 2 days, and 35 minutes.
Well, he certainly got it all worked out. Yes, but navigation. It's impossible without assistance from Earth.
Henderson, I've spent my life studying the problems of this voyage, and I shall have assistance from my friends on Mars.
Friends on Mars?
Now listen carefully, Henderson. In exactly 15 minutes, I propose to pull away from the supply satellite. If you want to live, I suggest you get those supplies in and move fast. That's all.
Brown. He's cut off.
We've got to stop him somehow.
Don't worry, Jeff. We'll think of something. Tonight, I think he's crazy enough to mean what he said about slipping those canisters. Come on, Jeff. We better start getting the supplies in.
Well, isn't that giving in?
No, it's just a question of immediate survival.
Look at the radio telescope. They're just going nowhere into space.
If only we could get them on the radio.
Oh, if only we could do anything.
Do you think it's possible they're trying to get back to Earth?
Look yourself, man. This course must take them into deep space.
But what's the objective? What's Brown trying to do?
There is a possibility, but it's too fantastic to contemplate. You know, this man Harcourt Brown believes there is civilization on other planets. Well, I believe he has somehow got control of the rocket and is taking it to the planet Mars. Look, I'll show you. Here's the Earth. Here's the moon. Here's the present position of the rocket. Now, if they continue this course for 5 or 6 weeks' time, it will bring them to this point here, coinciding with the orbital position of Mars at that date.
But that's an impossible journey. Well, they've only got to deviate by a matter of yards at this stage, and they'd miss the planet by thousands of miles.
Not only that, even if they could reach it, they could never get back.
Our only hope is that Henderson, if he's still alive, can get back into Earth's orbit.
Look, there are 2 blips now. They've discarded the canisters. That can only mean they're all stocked up and going on.
That was only just in time. Oh, he certainly meant what he said about 15 minutes.
That's right, Henderson. You know, timing is a vital factor in space travel. It may interest you to know that we are nearly 20,000 miles away from the moon.
Oh, Jeff, turn the microphones off, will you? We don't want him hearing everything we say.
Is there any possible way of getting into the control cabin apart from through the hatch?
No, not a chance. There's only one way through there. If we're going to get him out, we've got to force him out.
Yes, but how? All the controls are in there.
Yes, I know that, Jeff. But I've been thinking. There's one thing he hasn't got up there, and that's this blueprint of the rocket's construction. Now, as you can see, this ship is constructed with double walls. Now, between those walls are all the wiring, piping, etc., leading from the control cabin to the rest of the ship. But also between those walls is the refrigeration plant. Now, if we can somehow cut that for in there, the temperature would very quickly rise to the same as it is on the skin. 3,000 degrees centigrade.
Yes, but the plant's controlled from in there.
Yes, I know that, Jeff, but what about the power that drives it? That comes from the solar batteries on the skin of the rocket itself. Now, if we could cut those...
But you could only get at those from the outside.
Exactly. That's what I intend to do.
But if you did cut the batteries off and kill the refrigeration, what would happen in there?
Well, the heat would be unbearable in a very few seconds. He'd have to come out, or else fry.
Yes, but he's got a spacesuit on, the same as we have. That would insulate him.
Not without the helmet, Jeff.
But what about Margaret?
And she left her helmet down here.
Precisely. That means there's only one helmet up there. Now, if we can somehow get Margaret to put Brown's helmet on, she'll be safe.
But how can we warn her without Brown knowing?
I don't know. There must be a way.
Now, you've switched off your microphones, have you? I hope you're not going to try anything foolish. Now, pay attention. I'm going to relay something through to you, and I want you to listen very carefully.
Space chatter.
You know what that is, don't you? Coded messages from Mars and Venus.
He's crazy.
I'm going to decode them, and later on I'll tell you what they're all about.
I think he really believes it, that space chatter is a message from other planets.
Well, whether he believes it or not, he's made an awful lot of money writing books about it.
Then I don't get it. Why does he have to risk his life and ours to prove this fairy tale when people are willing to believe it anyway?
Maybe he's just trying to convince himself. What about he's cooking up now with his decoding?
This is our chance. He'll have earphones on. While he's busy on the radio, I can talk to Margaret and tell her what to do.
But how?
I'll try tapping. Does Margaret know Morse code?
Yes, I think she does.
Good, then I'll try it.
Put O-N on S-P-A-C-E space H-E-L-M-E-T. Put on space helmet.
Sector 10. Sector 10. Sector 9 here. The second part of our mission has been accomplished successfully. We're on our way. We shall arrive on Mars on schedule.
She's heard it. She's tapped back 3 times as she's understood. I told her to tap 3 times when she's got a helmet on.
Right, come on, Jeff. Give me a hand with this hatch. Right, quickly. Now, I'm going down into the airlock. Jeff, get your helmet on and your backpack and follow me.
When you disconnect the refrigeration, what'll happen to Brown?
Well, without proper protection, he should be overcome by the heat in a matter of seconds. Oh, don't worry. He'll survive, all right. But he just should give Margaret a chance to get the hatch open. Mary, you stand by on the top of the ladder here, ready to help her from this side. Come on, Jeff.
Right.
What are you doing, Margaret?
Oh, nothing.
Margaret, look at these messages.
What do they mean?
Well, now, that's the call signal. Sector 10 calling ambassador from Sector 9. Now, 9 means Earth. The rest of the message is some form of salutation. You see, their language is so much more advanced than ours, it's impossible to translate it exactly.
Oh, I see.
Yes, well, I'm glad you're taking an interest in my mission.
Well, I've been thinking. I suppose there really could be people living on Mars. Couldn't there?
Well, of course there are. What about the flying saucers? Where do you think they came from? They come from Mars. Now, look at this. You see this map? This was made by a very eminent American astronomer, Professor Lowell. You see those lines? Lowell thought that those lines were canals. Great engineering works.
Yes, but some astronomers say that they haven't seen those lines.
Well, that's quite possible. You see, there's an atmosphere on Mars. Sometimes it's completely covered by clouds.
Mr. Brown, if we do land there, we'll have to wear spacesuits and helmets, won't we?
Well, yes, at first, when we're in the open. You see, Mars has an atmosphere completely different from ours. But later on, when they take us into their homes, we'll be all right.
Then I was thinking that we ought to start getting prepared.
Not yet, Margaret. Not for another 6 weeks.
But I thought perhaps I could try on your space helmet, just to get used to it.
Oh, yes, of course. That's a good idea. Now, where is it? There it is. They'll think you're a funny-looking creature, won't they? You know, they're not at all like us.
Your messages coming through again.
Oh, yes, I must tend to them. Sector 10. Sector 9 here. I'm receiving you.
Right. That's it. Come on. Get the hatch off, Jeff.
Right.
That's it.
I wouldn't like to fall out there.
You can't fall, Jeff.
Well, I mean float.
Yes, I know. That's why I brought you along with me. Now, look, I want you to hold this rope and pay it out as I move along the skin of the rocket. It's just for safety, in case I do float off.
All right.
There we go.
Don't you think it's about time you took off that space helmet now?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to get the feel of it.
Well, don't you want to help me with my calculations? You see, by observing the position of the stars, we can calculate our own position. I'll show you. Now, let's see what's happening outside. You know, all our positions are approximate at the moment, but in 17 days we should be able to see an eclipse of the sun by the Earth, and then I can rectify my direction to 100th part of a degree.
Can I see?
Yes, of course. It should be very instructive. You'll be able to see everything all around us. Don't show that up, Margaret. I haven't finished with it yet.
Mr. Brown,
Huh?
do you think I could help you with your calculations? I mean, if you showed me how to do them.
What's the matter with you, Margaret?
Nothing. I just want to help.
Why did you close up that periscope, eh? I see, so that's why they shut off the microphone. Now I understand the helmet. Well, it looks as if your Mr. Henderson is more trouble than he's worth. We shall have to do the rest of the journey without him.
What are you going to do?
Yes, I turned the rocket suddenly.
But he'll float there forever.
He tried to kill me. I had to do something. I warned him I would allow nothing to interfere with my mission.
Are you all right?
Yes, I think so, Jeff. Oh, I nearly floated off into eternity. Brown must have spotted me through the periscope.
You've got to turn this rocket round and go back for him.
It's too late, Margaret. He'd be 100 miles back by now. No, we'd never find him. Space is too vast. No, we must go on.
Thank goodness you're all right. I was so worried when Brown started the motors.
Oh, don't worry. They won't get rid of me so easily. All the same, if it hadn't been for Jeff here, I'd have had it, you know.
Well, what do we do now?
I don't know. Brown's cleverer than we thought he was. He's got every darn trump card up there.
Listen to me, Captain Meadows. I didn't want to kill Henderson. It was in self-defense.
Here, let me answer this. Brown, you didn't kill me. I'm still here. And you're just as trapped as we are.
Uncle, you're all right then. Hooray!
Yes, I'm all right, Margaret. Don't worry. We'll soon have you out of there.
Henderson, there is no way you can get us out of here, so don't try anything again. Now listen, there's no reason why we shouldn't all survive if you'll cooperate. So settle down and make the best of it. This is going to be a very long journey.
That's the 5th day.
Any news?
They're still on course.
7.5 million miles.
It's a fantastic achievement even so far.
Fantastic for who?
Well, they must be still alive. I mean, there was that message picked up in Tokyo yesterday calling Sector 10.
That only means Brown's still alive. We don't know about the others. As far as they're concerned, that rocket may be just a flying coffin.
What does this Sector 10 business mean, anyway?
You want to read his book? According to his mad theories, the solar system is separated into 12 sectors. Mars is the 10th. All the planets are supposed to be populated. And the so-called Grand Council of the solar system is on Mars. He probably imagines us sitting there waiting for him with the town band up.
Well, if he's as mad as all that, I wonder if he'll be able to maintain his course. Do you realize if he's out by so much as a degree, he's going to miss Mars by 400,000 miles? He must have had an awful lot of luck to get even this far.
Aye, and all we can do is just sit and wait.
Same as they must be doing in the rocket. If they're still alive.
Sorry, Hamlet. That's all. I'm still hungry, too. But everything's strictly rationed.
Well, the air conditioning's holding out all right.
But how much longer are we going to stay cooped up in here?
Now, cheer up, Mary. There's still a chance of survival, you know. And even if we never get back, there's still a job we can do. Carry on recording our instrument checks.
Of course. I'm sorry.
That's my go.
The echoes are getting weaker. Have you got that distance check?
Yes, 22,300,000 miles. Don't forget there's a 4-minute time lapse on the echoes at that distance.
I have a log for that. Here, you better log that.
Right. Well, at least it's a triumph for Wedgwood's rocket design. 15 days.
What are you going to do with these tape recordings?
Just hope we can get access to the radio before it's too late.
What use is that if we can't get back?
Well, all information on outer space is vital. There will be voyages to Mars sometime, only they'll be properly equipped.
Anyway, Jeff, we're not finished yet. Come on, switch on. We have now been in deep space for exactly 21 days. Although confined to the main cabin, we have been able to keep exact scientific records, take temperature checks, and record variations in solar and gamma ray intensity. Air conditioning has been up to expectations, and the occasional traces of toxic gases have been automatically eliminated. Morale has remained high. But we now all realize that with supplies running out and water strictly rationed, our return to Earth becomes more and more remote. I'm afraid we'll have to cut down on rations all round.
Luckily, we've still got plenty of oxygen. It's one advantage over enforced inactivity. We just haven't been using it up very fast.
The water level's low.
Well, just a minute, I'll check it. Well, at half a pint each a day, I think we could just go on for another 3 weeks.
What about the water supplies in there?
There were only a couple of gallons in that auxiliary tank to begin with. It must be almost empty by now.
Couldn't we offer some to Brown for Margaret's sake?
We tried while he was sleeping. He didn't even answer the intercom.
Well, maybe he's asleep. Or unconscious.
Oh, Margaret, Margaret, we've been through all this before. I'm a light sleeper. You can't open that hatch without waking me, any more than they can force it from below.
Water. I've got to have some water. I feel dizzy.
Oh, Margaret, this isn't my fault. I can't trust them to cooperate with me, so I've got to hold you here.
But we'll die of thirst. You haven't drunk anything for 2 days.
I know, I know. Can't you hold out a bit longer?
I don't think I can.
Margaret, you must pull yourself together. You must. Look, there'll be water on Mars. There'll be everything on Mars. Henderson, we're more than halfway on our journey to Mars. In other words, It will take us less time to get there than to return to Earth. Are you listening?
Yes, I'm listening.
There will be water on Mars. Even you must admit that.
Well, what are you getting at, Brown?
Margaret's ill. She's running a fever. She needs water, medical supplies. You have those. Now, I'm willing to release her to you if you will promise not to interfere with my mission to Mars.
I'm not prepared to bargain with you, Brown.
We must help Margaret. We can't leave her in there.
What about Brown? There's nowhere to lock him up. How can we trust him?
If we agree to go on to Mars, he'll behave himself because that's what he wants above all else.
Yes, but this is blackmail. You can't possibly get this ship to Mars, Brown. Your so-called mission is taking us nowhere into space.
On my last astronavigational check, I was less than 100th part of a degree off course. I have rectified that since.
If this ship could get to Mars, it's just possible we might find water. If so, it can probably be made fit to drink. If we've any chance of survival, this would be it.
And we'd be the first Earthman on Mars.
And we've got to get Margaret out of there.
All right, then, Brown. We give our word. You can open up the hatch. What quickly? Thanks. Margaret, come on, sit down. Drink this. That's it. I should never have let you come.
But I wouldn't have missed it for anything. I think I'll be all right now.
Henderson, look. As I said. Look, we're more than halfway there.
Yes, you're right. All right, Brown. I gave my word. We go on to Mars.
Well, here they are. They've almost made it. What a feat.
Yes, but if we only knew what had happened inside the rocket.
Look, that's it. Look, that's Mars.
Can I see?
Yes, wait. Right.
Gosh, you can see markings on it quite clearly. It must be the canals.
We don't know that they are canals.
Well, we don't know what they are yet. Do you know how they came to be called canals, Margaret?
Yes. It was an Italian astronomer, Schiaparelli. He first saw the lines and called them canali, which is Italian for channels. But everyone else thought he meant canals.
Oh, what do you say about that, Brown?
They are canals. You see, there's so little water on Mars, they had to build these gigantic aqueducts to take the water all over the planet.
And who are they?
Margaret, don't start him off again.
You don't believe anything even when it's staring you in the face.
Not when it's an optical illusion. Well, what do you know? Those canals of yours have just disappeared.
Yes, they do from time to time.
But I saw them.
There are a lot of things we don't understand about Mars, but it'll all be cleared up when we get there.
I wonder what we will find there.
Now that we're getting nearer, it seems obscured by clouds and swirling dust.
Jeff, switch on the transmitter full strength, then get down on the radars.
Right.
Hello, Earth. We are just about to enter the orbit of Mars. We hope that you will be able to pick up this message. We intend to circle the planet to select a landing point. As you know, we have no knowledge of Martian atmosphere or what effect it will have upon our ship. That is all, over and out.
Isn't it odd to think that it'll take just over 5 minutes before they even start to hear that message on Earth? If they ever do.
What's the distance, Jeff?
1,500 miles, closing 1,400.
Right. Tell me when we reach orbital height of 620 miles. I'm just about to switch on retroactive motors. Stand by.
Oh, can I help you, Jeff?
Just keep the image in the center of the screen while I take the readings.
Right.
What's Brown doing?
He's working out his message of greetings to the Martians. It's ridiculous, isn't it? A grown man.
Keep giving me those distances, Jeff.
1,000 miles.
Right, when we reach orbital height, I'm switching on main lateral motors. Then we'll really slow up with a jolt, so stand by.
700 miles from Mars surface. We shall reach orbital height in 4 seconds.
Planning to land without any guidance from the Martians, Henderson?
Orbital height.
Right, hold on. right, Jeff. 1 second readings.
600, 550, 500. Speed dropping fast.
External temperature's rising.
You put your ship in orbit, and they'll guide us down.
We've got to pull up. We're only 300 miles up, closing to 250. We haven't joined into orbit. We're going straight down.
Right, we've got to go into land. All right, I'm going to fire retroactives again, full blast. What can you see, Mary?
Nothing. No, nothing but a moving mass.
Well, whatever it is, we've got to land on it.
Hold it! There's nothing solid down there.
It's too late, Mary. We're going into land.